Programming from Zero, episode 3. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about variables and variable types. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so if you're working along with me, open Visual Studio, open your project, go to your main file, and you should have all your comments here, your algorithm, and your project information, coding information. Now type in down here, pound include, space, less than iostream greater than. On the next line, using namespace std. Now that's not sexually transmitted disease, that stands for standard. And make sure you have a semicolon. Having those two lines are very important for printing and inputting into your program. I'm not going to explain exactly what they mean. IO does stand for input output, and stream does stand for stream. It's important when you want to output and input, like I said before. Okay, so since this video is about a tutorial on variables and variable types, I'm going to get right into it because I don't want to make them long and arduous because that's just annoying. So type in now int main, open close parentheses, open close brackets, and you have this. This right here is called the main function. It is the main thing that the computer runs, that is run for a program. Okay. Inside the main function is all the instructions that a programmer will code into it to tell the program mainly what to do. So for our purposes, everything we're going to be doing so far is inside the main function. Now type int number and int number, just like that. int stands for int, which is short for integer, and an integer is a whole number, a number without a decimal. So the next, after whatever you type after integer, is the name of a variable of type integer. So we can put things inside this variable. Think of it like a bucket. You can put things inside of this bucket, values. And these values, since this bucket can only hold integers, these values must only be whole numbers. So now we can say, we can declare an integer variable. We declared one, called it number, and now we're going to initialize it, which means give it a value. So to give it a value, you do declare it, integer number is equal to, let's say, 7. And then the semicolon, which tells us, the compiler, to stop there. It's like a period on a sentence. Oh yeah, you could also declare more than one variable and initialize more than one variable on the same line using a comma. So I'll say like number 2 is equal to 10. Oh, 10. There you go. Okay. Now, what about, okay, that's just whole numbers. That's just decimals. What about doubles? I mean, I just said it, decimals. To declare decimals, you use double. I just gave it away, darn it. And we're going to declare it, let's do lala. I like lala. Equal to 3.14159, good old pi. And also, you can comment anywhere you want to, like we talked about in the last tutorial. The value of lala is approximately that of pi. I don't know. You don't have to put that in. I'm just giving an example of using comments sufficiently throughout your program. Okay, next. Okay, we talked about numbers. What about characters? What about letters? Well, char. Char is what we use to store characters, single letters, into a variable. So I'll give it this variable the name letter, and I'll initialize it to the letter G. In order to do that, you have to put the letter inside of single quotes or apostrophes, like that. And of course, end it with a semicolon. Alright, so we've declared 1, 2, 3, 4 variables. Each of them have a different type, except for number and number 2. They're the same type of variable. And each variable holds a unique value. all of different types. To print them, we do cout insertion operator, which is 2 less than signs, and we'll print number, the value of number. Okay, this, whatever number is equal to, with the cout function and the insertion operator. The insertion operator will take the value of this variable and give it to cout. Cout then prints it onto your screen. Okay. So, well, actually no. We want to add an endl command, which stands for end line. Also, I want to make this bigger. Oh my. Maybe I should make it smaller. 130. Okay, I just want to do that in case it was hard for some of y'all to see the screen, the letters. So what this line does, what this command does, is that it prints out on your screen the value of number, and then it goes to a new line. So on that new line, oops, we will print the value of number 2. Oop. Oh yes. Alright, I intentionally left out end line, because I want to show you what it looks like when you leave out end line. So now end line, and then finally our char, which is just letter. It's always a good programmer habit to end your couts with end line, and you'll see why when we compile or build and run. Okay, there's something I forgot to mention. When this window comes up, just press do not show this dialog again, and then click yes. That way, whenever you run without debugging, it'll build every time, and then it'll run it. So we're waiting, and here we go. We have our DOS window, and our output, 7, 10, well, that's not 103.14159. It's actually 10, and then 3.14159, new line G, and then new line, press any key to continue. So looking back at the code, we see because we did not put an end line here, it concatenated or combined the values of number 2 and together on the same line without any spaces. Press any key to continue. Oh, and one more thing I forgot. You always need to return something with a function. So at the end of your int main function, be sure to have return 0, semicolon. I mean, you don't have to have it right now, but it's always, you really should put it in there. It's good. So why don't we add not an end line, but a space. And you can do that by doing another insertion operator, apostrophe, space, and then, or not apostrophe, quote, space, quote, double quote. So let's see what that will look like. Start without debugging, it builds, and then, okay, we have our space here. And then press any key to continue. What this actually is, it's not a character, this space. It's actually a string, and a string is what it sounds like. It's a string of characters. To output a string of characters in C++, you can do it via a variable. I'm not going to get right into that right now because this video is long enough as it is, but right now I'm going to show you how to output a string, or words, basically, via this method, hello world, and then end line. Alright, so debug, start without debugging, or control F5, and here you have your string. Alright, in C, it's actually a little more difficult to print strings. Well, more like array of chars, but that's all different. So now that you know what what variables are and what variable types are, you will be using them a lot more. There is another variable type to print decimals. It's called float, and there's even long and small. Those all print numbers. But for what we're doing, for our purposes, we're beginning programming. And you really won't need to use all those. Double is really all you need. Double, int, and char. Those are the main variable types we will be working with. So I'll see you on the next video. I think in the next video I'll be doing a programming project or something like that. Alright, see ya.